Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? Hey man, it is one of my favorite times of the year. NBA season is right around the corner and it is time to make our NBA playoff predictions, man. I love making predictions even though I am always wrong. But this video, we're going to be doing the Eastern Conference. I should already have my Western Conference predictions up. Go ahead and check that out. Link will be in the bio or somewhere on the screen or something like that. I'll figure it out. But this video will be just for the Eastern Conference, and then we're going to do another video for NBA awards. So look out for that video coming soon too. But before we get into this video, make sure y'all like the video, make sure y'all subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell, and make sure y'all leave a comment. Let me know what y'all think and let me know what y'all predictions is, man. Like I said, we're going to be doing the Eastern Conference, and I'm going to self-snitch again like I did in the first video, the Western Conference. I did this video, I had already finished it. It was like 20 some odd minutes long, but I forgot two playoff caliber teams. I don't know how these two teams slipped my mind. I'll let y'all know later in the video which teams those were. But I just was so excited to put two up and coming teams in the playoffs. I just completely forgot about these two playoff teams. So I had to restructure my whole list. So it sounds bad, but it is what it is. But let's go ahead and get into the video, man. I'm gonna go ahead and start right off. And we're going to go right into our 8th seed, man. This team made a lot of moves in the not the preseason, the offseason. And they're a very young and upcoming team, but they also brought in some veteran presence and some veteran basketball play. The Atlanta Hawks, man. The Atlanta Hawks. So let's talk about the Atlanta Hawks before all the acquisitions. They were already a pretty solid team. They were already a pretty solid team coming in here. I think they would still be contending for an 8th seed. I don't think they would be quite there, but I think they would have been contending. But Trae Young, obviously 30 and 10 damn near, I guess. He's going crazy. He's going to get his shots, right? John Collins was averaging 20 last year. I don't know if anybody predicted that, but John Collins is definitely a solid player at that 4. DeAndre Hunter is going to make strides, I believe. He was another top pick for them, and I think he's gonna come in and bring hopefully some wing defending and maybe even some spot up shooting for them. Clint Capella didn't play no basketball for them last year, but we could see what he could potentially be a good piece for that offense depending on how they use him. Kevin Huerter is going to make strides. I think him coming in, being able to shoot the pill for them off the bench. Cam Reddish, obviously another top draft pick. You know, he can come in there and be another wing defender, another shooter. You know, that's just the youth, man. That's just the youth. And then they picked up Onyeka Okongwu, one of the better bigs, one of the better defensive bigs coming out of that draft. So that's gonna definitely help them down in the post, down in the paint defending. So they got some wing defending, they got some paint defending. And that's just their young talent, man. That's just a young talent. Let's talk about who they brought in. To back up Trae Young, they brought in 2-time NBA championship Rajon Rondo. That, I think, for Trae Young, I think just based off his development, I think he's gonna learn a lot from Rajon Rondo. I think Rondo's gonna probably, I don't know if he's gonna take him under his wing. I don't know. I can't sit here and say that a player's gonna take another player under their wing. They probably should, but will they? It's up to them. But I think he will definitely bring some veteran presence to Trae Young. He will help him out, just, you know, learning the game a little bit more, kind of I wouldn't say expanding his game, but just becoming a professional, becoming, you know, just a more well-rounded player. And then obviously his production off the bench is going to be solid. You saw what he was able to do with the Lakers, becoming, like, you know, another playmaker off of the bench and getting people involved. So he's going to do that, obviously. Danilo Gallinari, another acquisition for them. You know, what's to be said? He would probably come off the bench being a 6th man. He's going to bring that, you know, he's going to bring some scoring. Probably won't bring too much defense, but he's going to bring some scoring off of that bench, and that's definitely going to help you win games. Also, they brought Chris Dunn, who actually says that he's out. I don't know what he's injured, I don't know what injury he has, but he says he's out. But hopefully that's not serious. But yeah, Chris Dunn brings more wing defending coming off the bench. So we know what he can do. We know he's not really much of a scorer, but he can definitely get out there and defend. So yeah, I really like this team to take that next jump. There were some teams kind of contending, like Detroit and the Pacers. I don't have the Pacers in the playoffs just because I think these two teams just got better This team in the 7th seed, which we'll talk about later, got better than them. They didn't really go nowhere, and they also got rid of their coach, and they got a new coach, Nate whatever his name is, Bjorn, I don't know, whatever his name is. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it, but they got rid of Nate McMillan, brought in a new coach, so that's kind of a question mark. And also the Victor Oladipo thing, we don't know how good he's gonna be. Hopefully he comes back near his all-star caliber that he used to be. But yeah, and then I think there was another team. What's the other team? There was another team in the East the Magic were on the bubble kind of, and the Hornets I kind of had on that bubble too. But I think the Hawks just have that talent. They have that scoring in Trae Young, and then they have veteran presence. I think they're going to be able to make that leap over those 3 teams and become a playoff team. Finally, a playoff team in a long time. So yeah, that's my EFC coming out of the East. All right, so my 7th seed coming out of the Eastern Conference. I got another team that wasn't in the playoffs last year, wasn't even in contention really. Washington Wizards. Washington Wizards are my 7th seed. Now we know what they did in the offseason. Obviously, the Russell Westbrook for John Wall pretty much straight up. It wasn't a straight up trade, but it pretty much kind of was straight up. I don't know. Russell Westbrook, John Wall get swapped. John Wall's in Houston. Russell Westbrook's in Washington. When I look at this team, first off, let me just start by saying I'm a firm believer. That wherever Russell Westbrook goes, for the time being, wherever Russell Westbrook goes, is probably going to be a playoff team. And I say for the time being because he is getting a little bit older. I still think he has it in him though, but maybe down the road probably he loses that juice. But in my opinion, Russell Westbrook is a playoff. He makes a playoff team automatically when he jumps on the roster. Just for the fact that we all saw what he did with the Oklahoma City Thunder team. Pretty much had nobody. Had Steven Adams looking like a not borderline all-star, but had Steven Adams. He pretty much got him paid. Yeah, Russell Westbrook, wherever Russell Westbrook goes, he's probably going to send that team to the playoffs. Now, on top of that, I think the team had a lot of solid pieces before that. Isaac Bonga is actually starting for this team. I remember a time with Isaac Bonga was was the Lakers, like a point guard. Like he's like a really tall point guard out of the G League, and he used to play a couple games and go back to the G League. Now he's actually starting, so shout out to him. That's cool. But besides him, Davis Bertans, the Lafayette Laser, or Lafayette, however you say it, the Lafayette Laser, just got his bag. So he's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. Russell Westbrook is gonna have him eat. That's gonna be a good. I guess they'll be like a pick and pop type of situation. Bradley Beal probably be running off pin downs and being able to get open. I like Russell Westbrook. I like the dynamic between those two because I feel like Bradley Beal is not a player that needs the ball in his hand, even though last year he did have the ball in his hand a lot, but that was only because he was the only person on the team that could score. So obviously you're going to give it to your guy. He averaged 30, didn't make the All-Star team, which is BS, but he averaged 30. I think he'll still be he's still going to average 25 plus with Russell Westbrook out there, being just the fact that I don't think he needs the ball in his hands. I think he can run off pin downs. I think he can create off the dribble. I think he can catch and shoot, sit in the corner if he needs to. And then there will be times where there will be running plays with him or through him. So I like that dynamic. Russell Westbrook, a good facilitating point guard. Bradley Beal, a top scorer in the league. They also have Thomas Bryant. Thomas Bryant is kind of a smaller center, isn't he? How tall is Thomas Bryant? Oh, he's 6'10". Well, I meant shorter. He's not that short. I thought he was shorter than that, but okay. Also, Rui Hachimura coming off his rookie year, looking to develop too. So I'm excited to see where he goes. Obviously, Denny Avdia. We saw him go perfect for his first game from the field at Washington, so that was very promising. He already has like some pro experience coming from where he came from overseas, so he's probably a little bit more polished than some of these players or some of these rookies that came into the league. So he's going to find his way into the rotation. And then Robin Lopez, solid backup center. Mortis Wagner could stretch the floor. Yeah, this team is going to be a playoff team in the East, I believe. And yeah, with the acquisition of Russell Westbrook is definitely going to help. this is going to be one of those teams where I'm going to be interested in just watching them play basketball. Just watch them play basketball and see how they mesh, how they do. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the Washington Wizards. I got them number 7 in the East. All right, so my 6th seed coming out of the East, I got to the Boston Celtics. What do I say about the Boston Celtics, man? So this team is still a solid team. They didn't get better, though. That's my thing about them. They didn't really get better. They picked up Daniel Tice. They still didn't. Well, they didn't pick up Daniel Tice. They've been had Daniel Tice. They picked up Tristan Thompson off the free agency, and they picked up Jeff Teague off of free agency. Other than that, I mean, that's about it. I mean, yeah, that's about it. So this team is, I don't know. I don't think they're gonna have a slow start to the season. I believe they're going to have a slow start just off of the fact that Kemba's still dealing with that left knee issue, and he's been dealing with it. And he's been dealing with that issue for a long time. So they're going to start off a little bit slow, in my opinion. That's why I have them a little bit lower than they usually are at the 6. And on top of that, like I said, they didn't really do much in the offseason. They still got Jason Tatum. They still got Jaylen Brown. What is their ceiling? I look for both of them to progress this year. I would definitely look for both of them to progress some more. But what is their ceiling when it comes to carrying this team? I don't really know. I don't really know if they can do it, just them two. It's going to be tough. They also got Marcus Smart starting. He's going to obviously make his contributions, but yeah, they're going to be missing Kemba, and I think that's going to be an X factor into how they're positioning into this playoff picture. It's really I don't really have too much to say about them. I have them here. This is just how I feel they're going to go. That's really all I have to say. Hopefully for Boston Celtics fan, Kemba comes back sooner than later. I did watch a preseason game, and there was a guy called Peyton Pritchard, and he looked okay. He looked serviceable, but obviously it wouldn't be the same impact of Kemba, but he did look pretty good. So yeah, man. This team, we will see. But I believe they're going to struggle early. They'll probably get it together somewhere late into the season. There will still be a playoff team, obviously, in the East. But yeah, that's all I got to say about the Boston Celtics, man. 60 for the Celtics. All right, so my number 5 seed in the East, I got the Miami Heat. First off, I love this team. How it's built and their culture going around it. Let's start by talking about just their roster, and then we'll go deeper dive into the team aspect of everything. As far as like acquisitions, they didn't really make too many. They have somebody, Avery Bradley. They did pick up Avery Bradley, and Mo Harkless are 2 new additions to the team. And then they picked up Precious Chiwin. I can't say his last name, but Precious, the dude with the first name Precious. He was their top draft pick. He's pretty deep on the depth chart, so I don't expect him getting too many minutes. But Avery Bradley and Maurice Harkless are pretty solid pickups defensively. So I like that. To fortify their defense a little bit better. Goran Dragic coming back off injury, healthy. He was their leading scorer. We'll see if he can do it again at how, I think he's like 35 maybe. 35, something like that. He's pretty old, but let's see if he can. We'll see if he can continue what he did last year. Duncan Robinson moves into the starting lineup. I think actually he was in the starting lineup already, wasn't he? In the bubble, but yeah, he's pretty much solidified it now. I love Duncan Robinson. I love what he brings to that team as far as the shooting. We'll see if he can maybe be somewhat serviceable on defense, but that remains to be seen. Obviously, Jimmy Buckets, we know what he can do. He's the freaking anchor of that team. I would say Bam Adebayo is the anchor. Jimmy Butler is the heart of that team. Bam Adebayo is the anchor. Obviously, big Bam Adebayo. I'm predicting somewhere along the line is he's going to be in Defensive Player of the Year, at least in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. And I can't wait to watch him play. He's turning into one of my favorite players. Kendrick Nunn coming off the backup point guard, and then Tyler Hero is probably going to be the 6th man. Now, Tyler Hero is an interesting topic for me. I don't know. Do we see him? I don't know if I'm just tripping, but I think that might be his role is coming off the bench as a sixth man. He might be the white Lou Williams. He just might. I don't know. I don't see him. I'm sure he can produce when he starts, but I think his role primarily will be to provide that scoring off of the bench. I don't know. What do I know? It's just kind of a feeling to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he can start and drop 30 if he wants to any night, but I don't know. I feel like right now in his second year going into this league is perfect. His second year going into the league this is a perfect position for him to be in, just that sixth man. He's going to get 25 plus minutes anyway, so it's not like he's going to be lacking playing time because he's already proved himself. So yeah. But I love this team. I love the culture. I love what Pat Riley does when it comes to like the body fat. You have to be a certain under a certain level of body fat for you to be even on the roster, and just hold you accountable, man. Hold you accountable, and it's just great to see that. So, and they don't need to be a top seed. The 5 seed is exactly where they need to be. That's exactly where they were last year. And guess what? They was competing in the finals against the Lakers. So they don't need to be a 5 seed. They just need to get there. They're a tough team. They're a tough team. Can't wait to watch them play, man. I love them. So Miami Heat, 5 seed. All right, my number 4 seed out of the East, I got the Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors, another team that didn't really make too many moves in the offseason. But they're the Raptors. I think they're always going to be in the mix. They're always going to be in the mix no matter what. As long as they keep that core nucleus like Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, Pascal, OG, and, as long as they kind of keep that together somewhat, and then on top of that, Nick Nurse being the head coach, I think they're always going to be in the running no matter what. They bring in Aaron Baines. That's their one acquisition that I can see. I think everybody else here, Alex Len. I don't think Alex Len was there last year. Yeah, Aaron Baines and Alex Len, I think, will be their acquisitions. But other than that, yeah, there's really not much to say about this team. I think they're just that solid team. They're just that solid team, kind of like just that solid team that's always going to be in the mix, man. Like the Grizzlies back in the day when they were fighting with the Spurs. The Grizzlies was always going to be in that mix, no matter what you say. It was always this is that team to me. Well coached, deep, has players at all on all levels of the floor that can give you contributions. There's no real weak points. Other than maybe, I guess, like a superstar that you can give the ball to that you need for the last shot of the game. I don't really see that on this team. If Pascal wants to step up and be that guy, then that's up to him. But let's talk about Pascal, man. Pascal, I'm looking for him to take some strides here and expand his game, because he was pretty. I heard a lot of things about him being very predictable with his left side spin, or his left-handed spin, and he'll come up with the same move. I want to see him progress and add some stuff, add some post game to his game, maybe work on his handles, work on his knockdown shooting, something. Bring something else to your game. He's still very young, still a very young player, so he has plenty of time. But that's what I'm looking for. He's one of my X factors. He's one of my X factor players that I need to see take another step, like a significant step. A significant step to be able to compete with these guys, because he's running in to a lot of talent at that power forward, and he's gonna need to up his game. So that's what I'm looking for. Not really much to say about the Raptors. I got him at the 4 seed. I think that's a perfect fit for them. That's it, man. Toronto Raptors 4 seed. All right, so my number 3 seed in the East, I got the Philadelphia 76ers. Here I go again, giving the 76ers too much credit, maybe, potentially. We'll see. I don't know. I always have a lot of faith in this team, and they always let me down somehow, some way. But this team is still good. I think this team made a step. This team definitely made a step, and they made a couple of solid moves. I see a couple of solid moves, new faces, and a new head coach. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Seth Curry's going to be he's going to be a contributor, a big contributor, helping Ben Simmons stretch the floor. Definitely, we all know Ben Simmons can't shoot. Also, Danny Green's going to be at that small forward position, apparently. Not Matisse Thybulle? Wow, that's weird. Danny Green's going to, okay, whatever. Danny Green's going to be on there. Tobias Harris, who can hit shots. And then obviously one of the top 2 bigs in the league, Joel Embiid. So that's just their starting 5. That's a pretty good starting 5 for them right now. They definitely added some shooting. What they needed. what they needed desperately. They also drafted Tyrese Maxey. Don't know much about him. Hopefully he can help contribute, maybe give him some shooting, maybe, give him some playmaking, give Ben Simmons a break or whatever. And Furkan Korkmaz, I just like saying his name. I don't know what he's going to do, but I just like saying his name. Oh, yeah, and then they picked up Dwight Howard as well. So Dwight Howard just came off winning the championship. He's going to bring a lot to that team as well, helping Joel Embiid take a little bit of a break. On top of all of that, and the nucleus that they have Doc Rivers, a championship coach. I'm excited to see what he does with this team. I'm not really sure what his type of basketball is, but I'm just excited to see what he does. I feel like this is going to be like a more defensive, kind of like I think he has a chance to unlock the defensive potential of this team. Matisse Thybulle, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Danny Green, Seth Curry's also kind of he's okay on defense as well. They have the potential to be like one of the better defensive teams in this league and in the East, man. So I can't wait to see what he does with this. I got them high, man. It was the 6th seed last year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They were the 6th seed last year, man. So I'm having them jump up 3 spots, man. Ever since I lost the bet to them like 4 or 5 years back, I put them on a little bit higher pedestal, and they've always let me down. So hopefully they don't do it this year. If they do it this year, then next year I'm definitely gonna put them at the 8th seed. But yeah, that's gonna be my 3 seed, Philadelphia 76ers. All right, so my number 2 seed coming out of the East, man. I got the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets are gonna be my 2 seed prediction. What else is there to say, man? Kevin Durant is back. I saw him in the preseason game. I know it was kind of a small sample size. I get it. But what I did see from Kevin Durant, he did look smooth. It looked like he was out there. It was effort. He was making it look easy. So potentially the true, all-star, superstar, top 2 player in the league, Kevin Durant, could possibly be back in this league. And that's going to be scary for the East, man. Obviously, they got Kyrie, so Kyrie and Kevin Durant, that dynamic is going to be crazy. But I think so they're still going to be the 2 seed. I still think they're going to be dominant because I feel like they're just going to run it up, just given that they have Kyrie, Kevin Durant, Joe Harris is a great shooter. Before I go into what I want to say, I'm just going to keep talking about the players. Joe Harris, they got a knockdown shooter. They just paid him. He got his bag, so he's going to be their sniper. Jared Allen, a young big. DeAndre Jordan, apparently. So DeAndre Jordan is going to be coming off the bench. I thought he was going to be starting, but okay. Not so much my issue, but what I would probably do is I would put. So ESPN has Karis LeVert starting, and Spencer Dinwiddie the backup point guard. I would put Spencer Dinwiddie as the starting point guard, put Kyrie at the shooting guard, and then have Karis LeVert coming off the bench to provide that high level of scoring that he was providing in the bubble. Because remember, in the bubble, he was averaging around 23 to 25 points a game, and he was actually going toe to toe with, I can't remember what team he was playing, but it was a team where he was like, he missed the game-winning mid-range shot, and everybody was kind of roasting him for it, but he still was playing. He was playing his ass off. So I would have Karis LeVert coming off the bench, but hey, I'm not Steve Nash. I'm not an NBA coach. I'm not an NBA expert. That's just what I would do. I'm sure Steve Nash has if this is his true starting lineup, I'm sure he has a plan for whatever he wants to do with it, and I'm sure it's going to work fine. But this is on paper, this is a very, very, very good team. What my kind of concern is, and it's kind of not really a concern because I still think they're going to be dominant regardless, just because there's so much talent and so much scoring on here. But my concern is the chemistry between. I know Kyrie and KD is going to have good chemistry because they're friends or whatever. But with the rest of the team, Kyrie and KD weren't there really in the bubble, and Kyrie, missed a majority of the season before COVID knocked the season off. So they're gonna have to work on getting that chemistry down with the other role players. I think they'll definitely get it when it comes to the later stages of the season, later stages of the season. But I think starting off, they're probably going to be a little bit shaky. I still think they're going to find ways to win games just because they're that good. And they're probably going to put up 140 points on people just because they're going to go lights out. But yeah, this team, that's my only real concern. And then I think after this year, I think next year, if they can keep this core nucleus together, which it looks like they have, I think they have Kevin Durant for a couple more years, Kyrie for a couple more years. They just signed Joe Harris. Oh, they might trade Karras or Spencer for, I don't know, James Harden maybe. I hope James Harden doesn't come to the team, because then that would be really like, that would be too much. You know, it's that's three, you know, big time ball handlers on the team, and you already know Kevin Durant's the guy, and then you got two dribble guys behind him. So it's just like, I don't know. It's weird. I wouldn't like that nucleus. I keep saying nucleus. With James Harden in there. I would just keep what you got now. You're deep. You got Landry Shamet, Bruce Brown, Taurean Prince, DeAndre Jordan, Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot coming off the bench, Tyler Johnson coming off the bench. I would just keep that how it is. Jeff Green coming off the bench. I would just keep that how it is now, and just, you know, let them mesh, let them get their bearings, maybe make one or two, you know, decent acquisitions here and there, and then next year they're probably going to be like the dominant team in the East, taking over for the Milwaukee Bucks. But yeah, that's my prediction for the Brooklyn Nets, man. Number 2 seed. And for my number 1 seed coming out of the Eastern Conference, I have, obviously, I mean, y'all should know who it is. It's the Milwaukee Bucks, y'all. Milwaukee Bucks, obviously. What can I say? I mean, there's a lot to say about this team. They made a lot of moves. They made some solid moves, mainly Jrue Holiday. They're starting point guard now. They gave up, George Hill and Eric Bledsoe, and a couple of picks to get him. They actually were able to retain Dante DiVincenzo, which is commendable, because if I was New Orleans, I would have been that. That's who I would have wanted. I wouldn't even have been looking at Eric Bledsoe. George Hill is cool. He's solid. He was like one of the best 3-point shooters in the league last year, but I wouldn't even been looking at you. You can keep Bled. Give me DiVincenzo. But they were able to retain him, so that's good. That's definitely going to help their team. Jrue Holiday at the point, DiVincenzo at the guard, Chris Middleton, Giannis, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis coming off the bench. They got DJ Augustine back up point guard. Bryn Forbes, don't really know much about him. Pat Connaughton, I saw him hit a couple threes in the bubble. And then they got Torrey Craig. Torrey Craig coming off the bench, providing some more defense. I think that's going to be very, very helpful for this team. Now, with that out the way, obviously the issue that everybody has with this team is that they're a dominant regular season team. We all know that. We get it, right? They're gonna go out there and win 65 games and get the 1 seed, dominate the 1 seed, and that's it, right? But literally, that's it. That's it. They're gonna dominate the 1 seed, and then they're gonna go in the playoffs and do what? That's my question with this team. Is what are they gonna do in the playoffs? What are they going to do in the playoffs? Is Jrue Holiday going to be that that assistant, that scoring help that Giannis needs coming, you know, from the perimeter? Because we all know unless Giannis has been expanding his game more, you know, working on his 3, working on his post game, trying to learn how to create shots. I mean, they're going to put that wall up on Giannis, and that's going to be it. So I think Jrue Holiday will definitely help provide some more stretchability for that team to give Giannis a little bit more breathing room. Dante DiVincenzo is starting. I can't wait to see how he develops. He's going to be one of my players on the watch for me, just to see how he develops in his league. Hopefully, he can provide some more good shooting and good defense and smart playmaking. What the hell? Somebody slamming doors upstairs. My bad. But and then Chris Middleton. Obviously, Chris Middleton wasn't able to be that guy that Giannis, that like kind of number 2 for Giannis. So that is, you know, hopefully Jrue Holiday can take that load, and Chris Middleton can just go back to just being like a solid 17, 18, 20-point scorer, doing what he can, you know, shooting the pill well, and just being a smart basketball player. They still got Brook Lopez. He can stretch the floor. They need that with Giannis. Bobby Portis, I think, can stretch the floor as well. I'm not really sure how good he is at that, but we'll see. But this team is all about the playoffs, man. What are y'all gonna do in the playoffs? We'll see. I'm not gonna make any predictions on how deep they'll go, but I just hope they at least need to be in the finals, at least. That's my expectation. They need to at least be in the finals. So, yeah, man. Number 1 seed, Milwaukee Bucks. Hopefully they can translate that into some sort of playoff success. And that's all I got for y'all, boys, man. Again, make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, comment, all of that. Let me know what y'all think. I appreciate y'all for coming through and watching the video. And, man, until next time, y'all.